Hi and welcome to Magoos Corner. I'm your host Trevor Greig. I'm on my own tonight as unfortunately Hugh Johnson-Schroeder, who is going to be my guest tonight from the Rosewater Football Club, has the man flu, has his hair up in rollers, and he's got the VO5 cranking in his hair to get it ready for this week. So hopefully you're on the mend, mate, and it's not too bad for you. So let's have a look at where we currently sit on the ladder after 7 rounds. For Division 5 reserves, Pulteney sitting on top, undefeated, 7 wins with 58%. Not the best percentage, mind you. So they're just getting over the line on some occasions. CBC 6-1 with our boys here at Rosewater, with both having quite good percentage. Smithfield and in 4th. Lockley's currently sitting on 3-3 with a draw, which happened with Elizabeth, sitting in 6th. Hectorville on 3-4, Blackfriars with 2-5, and Glenunga and Greenacres sitting at the bottom of the ladder, only separated by 6 percentage points with 0 wins, 7 losses. So Greenacres copping quite a bit of heat each week, and have 638 points in the negative on that one. So let's have a look at the first game, and it was out at Daly Oval, Hectorville and CBC. So it's one of those. CBC are very, very good in Division 5, obviously seeing them in the A grades earlier in the year. Their B grade is quite strong. Hectorville is a bit of a different story, where their A grade are very strong and running under the radar at the moment in their A grade for Division 5, but their B grade seems to struggle a little bit. So 2-5-17, Hectorville to CBC, 17 goals, 24. Probably should have been a lot worse than what it was, 126. So a 111 point loss there. So Sebastiani and Densley were the goal scorers for Hectorville, and Sebastiani, James and Densley were the better players. And for CBC, Yates, Pickering with 5 each, so that's a nice effort, and Tolinar with 3, Keane with a couple. And Owens, Tolinar and Yates were the better players, so that's a nice win for CBC, which helped them a little bit more with their percentage sitting above Rosewater in second, as we pointed out. Now, next game, speaking of, was Rosewater and Elizabeth, and it was a home game for us at Eric Sutton. 11 goals, 12, 78 to Elizabeth, 5-2, 32. First quarter, Elizabeth didn't look too bad, and then the boys got a little bit of a rocket because it was sort of up and down most of the day, and the guys getting it done. And one guy that is really surprising me at the moment, I think he's late 30s, almost pushing 40, and that's Robbie Brewer with 3 big Coobs with 3, Hatters with a couple, and the big Jonathan Coppins chipped in again this week for his second game, kicked 2. And the better players were Shane Gates, Tommy Petrozelli, who's somebody that I really like watching play footy, and little Brookie Hodson is an absolute jet on the wing. He backs himself in now after having a couple of chats with the coaches and so on, and has gained an extra, I'd say at least another 2 to 3 metres in his pace running through the wing. So it's really exciting to see those young lads come through. And for Elizabeth, we had Mosley, McNamara and Shaw as the goal scorers, with the best players being Lomas, Hall and Casey. So Elizabeth sitting in 6th position at the moment. There's not a hell of a lot that's in difference between 4th all the way through to even in Blackfriars in 8th position. I know that there are also another club, as I pointed out, with CBC in Hectorville, where their A grade are extremely strong. Blackfriars having their first loss to us 2 weeks ago, but their B grade struggles. So it's just unfortunately it's one of those things. Lockley's and Greenacres, 18-12, 120 to Greenacres 2-14, 26. So not sure or understand what's happened during the game, because they haven't entered it in as a quarter by quarter, which would be great to get that sort of information. But our mate Coombe, we kicked a couple for Greenacres. Fishhook, Smallcombe and Smith were their better players, and for Lockley's, Blackman with 5, Raffinelli with 3 and Rosswell with a couple, and a whole host of others. The best players were Blackman, Raffinelli and Cardone. So next week obviously we take on Lockley, so that should be an absolute cracking day of football for both teams. Lockley's sitting in 5th, as we pointed out, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this coming Saturday. Next game, Blackfriars took the trip to Morgan Oval, not that far, but Pulteney 20 goals, 128 to Blackfriars 7-4, 46. Something that we sort of did predict, with knowing how Blackfriars have been playing as of late. Nicholson with 6, Redshaw, Darley, O'Connell and Antwerwartha all kicked 2 each. And the best players was Roten Garden, Redshaw and Porteous. And for Blackfriars, Vaux with a couple, Stewart with 2 and Martino. And the better players out there for the Hounds were Reeve, Rayner and Martineau. Last game of the round, Smithfield and Glenunga. This is one where Glenunga are okay. They're not, setting the world on fire. I know that with Leasy in the A grade are just trying to get things rebuilt, and they're doing okay at the minute in the ones. Smithfield obviously very strong, so 14-14, 98 to 6-10. Moss with 3, Bendesi with a couple, the same as Hanneman and Lord. And the best players for Smithfield were Partridge, Moss, Callian, Bendesi and Owen. And for Glenunga, Del Corobo with a couple, Spencer and Kudnoff. Thomason, Dal Corobo, Hanson were the best players there for Glenunga. So let's have a look at what's happening next week for round 8. Weather should be fine. Should be a great day for footy. Elizabeth at Artagana Park hosting Pulteney. I can't see Elizabeth getting close to Pulteney in this one, unfortunately. So Pulteney for me in a canter. Hectorville and Greenacres out at Darley Oval. I think Greenacres is still going to have a hard week. Not by much, but Hectorville at home. CBC and Glenunga. After last week, this being in the East Parklands, home game for the Dolphins. I think CBC far too strong. Rosewater and Lockleys, this is going to be a cracking game. 3rd versus 5th. I haven't seen Lockleys play yet. I know that our boys are coming together extremely well in the B grade. Got a lot of firepower up front, especially with the inclusion of Coppo. I will say Rosewater at home, but to my media hat on, as Tommy would say, be very, very close, and Lockleys may get up. But for me, Rosewater, Blackfriars and Smithfield out at St Dominic's. Smithfield easily, I think. If the weather does hold up like it's been forecasted, I think Smithfield will do it quite easily. Again, make sure you have a chat to your club about having the game called live. Our first game that we'll be calling this week will be Tea Gully and Payneham Norwood Union out of Peneringa for Division 1, and we'll be catching up with most of the clubs in most divisions to call the games live. And make sure you subscribe to the SA Footballer magazine, and we'll catch you again next week.